Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha television. You're watching the news tonight with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Lok Sabha passes bill to double the gratuity payment ceiling from 10 lakh rupees to 20 lakh rupees for all employees. Makes maternity leave a part of continuous service. Lower House also passes a bill to provide relief to those who suffer breach of business contract. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu expresses concern over bank fraud cases, says actions of a few dishonest people have raised questions on the entire banking system, underscores need for a debate in both houses of parliament. "31 businessmen, including Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi, have fled the country after defrauding banks. Minister of State for External Affairs M.J. Akbar informs Lok Sabha that the government is taking all steps to bring them to justice. Supreme Court extends interim relief from arrest to Karti Chidambaram till March 26th. Transfers to itself all cases pending before the Delhi High Court that relate to the Enforcement Directorate's power to arrest under the Money Laundering Act. And India once again lodges complaint with the Pakistan High Commission over alleged harassment of its diplomats in Islamabad. Government says it is investigating similar complaint by Pakistan about its diplomats being harassed in Delhi. Well, the Lok Sabha today passed the Payment of Gratuity Amendment Bill, which will empower the government to fix period of maternity leave and tax-free gratuity amount with an executive order. After the passage of the bill in the Rajya Sabha, the government would be able to enhance the ceiling of tax-free gratuity to 20 lakh rupees for employees. Here are the details.
The Payment of Gratuity Amendment Bill passed by the Lok Sabha on Thursday allows the government to increase the ceiling of tax-free gratuity to 20 lakh rupees from the existing 10 lakh rupees for public sector employees. This change was needed after the implementation of the 7th Central Pay Commission recommendations that increased the ceiling of the gratuity amount for central government employees to 20 lakh rupees. The bill also empowers the central government to notify the gratuity ceiling from time to time without amending the law.
इसलिए ये प्रस्तावित है ग्रेजुटी की अधिकतम सीमा को अधिसूचित करने के लिए केंद्र सरकार को सशक्त बनाने का प्रस्ताव है और जैसा आपको बताया इसके अतिरिक्त मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट में मातृत्व अवकाश जो पहले 12 सप्ताह का था उसको 26 सप्ताह कर दिया गया है.
Another key aspect of the bill is that it notifies the period of maternity leave as part of continuous service. It also allows the central government to fix the leave period above the existing 12 weeks to up to 26 weeks as enhanced by the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act of 2017. At present, formal sector workers with 5 or more years of service are eligible for gratuity after leaving the job or at the time of superannuation. The Payment of Gratuity Act 1972 was enacted to provide to pay gratuity to employees engaged in factories, mines, oil fields, plantations, ports, railway companies, shops or other establishments. The law is applicable to employees who have completed at least 5 years of continuous service in an establishment that has 10 or more people. Ravindra Singh Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the other bill passed in the Lok Sabha on Thursday was the Specific Relief Amendment Bill. The bill proposes to grant a party the right to seek damages from the other side in case of a breach of business contract and also to reduce the discretion of courts in such matters. Experts say the new law will ease the concern of consumers facing stalled residential projects.
Lok Sabha passed a bill that proposes to provide remedies to parties whose contractual or civil rights have been violated. The Specific Relief Amendment Bill grants any party the right to seek damages from the other side in case of a breach of business contract. It also seeks to reduce the discretion of courts in such matters. The bill aims to tweak a 54-year-old law that deals with specific fulfillment of a contract as part of the government's ease of doing business policy. In December 2017, the Union Cabinet had approved amendments to the Specific Relief Act of 1963. The bill was passed in Lok Sabha by a voice vote, even as members of different parties created uproar over different issues.
That the Specific Relief Amendment
Amendment Bill 2018 as introduced in the Lok Sabha may be taken up for consideration and passing.
A number of amendments moved by RSP's N.K. Premchandran were negated by voice vote. Congress member Jyotiraditya Scindia sought a discussion on the bill, but with continuous protests by different parties, making the prospect of any discussion improbable, the Speaker went ahead with the proceedings for the passage of the bill. Soon after the bill was passed, Speaker Sumitra Mahajan adjourned the House for the day.
The House stands adjourned to meet again.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, both the bills in the Lok Sabha were passed amid the din of opposition protests on other issues. Rajya Sabha too was disrupted within the first few minutes after it convened for business. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu adjourned the House till 2 p.m. after only 11 minutes of proceedings. After members laid papers on the table mentioned against their names, Congress members began their protest over former Minister Y.S. Chowdhury's statement on division of Andhra Pradesh. Chairman urged the members to allow the House to function but had to adjourn the proceedings as protests continued. The finance bill that was passed by the Lok Sabha yesterday was transmitted to the Rajya Sabha yesterday itself. The House has 14 days to return the bill. Rajya Sabha can't vote on or hold back such a legislation for more than 14 days. If it fails to do so by the 28th of March, the union budget will be deemed passed.
No, please go to your place. If you don't go to your place, then I have to adjourn the House. Please, bring the House to meet at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Post-lunch, once again, the upper house couldn't transact any business. It was for the 9th day in a row that members protested over the PNB fraud and other issues, stalling proceedings. The members protested despite the discussion on bank fraud being allowed and listed in the day's agenda. Even a discussion on the Union Budget 2018-19 could not be taken up due to the continuous uproar. Here's more.
Impasse persisting in the upper house even in the post-lunch session. The Congress and the TMC continued to raise the issue of PNB fraud. The AIADMK and the DMK demanded constitution of the Kaveri Water Management Board, while the TDP and a Congress member demanded special status for Andhra Pradesh. Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurian repeatedly urged the members to allow the House to function and take up the short-duration discussion on reported scams in some public sector banks.
No, this is the time for short-duration discussion. Why are you doing this?
As protests continued, he adjourned the House till 3 p.m.
There is notice for short-duration discussion. Notice is admitted by Honorable Chairman. Government is ready to reply and the Honorable Member is ready to speak. Then why you are coming to the well and shouting and obstructing the proceedings? I am sorry. House is adjourned up to 3 p.m.
When the members reassembled, disruptions continued unabated. Amid the din, a resolution moved by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley to increase the basic custom duty on chickpeas from 40% to 60% was adopted.
Sri Arun Jaitley to move the following resolution, statute resolution.
To move the resolution mentioned against my name in the revised list of business today.
The Deputy Chairman again urged members to allow the House to function to take up the crucial discussion on Union Budget 2018-19.
I will have to adjourn the House and the responsibility for not discussing financial bill is on those who are shouting the slogan.
But with no visible resolution in sight, the Deputy Chairman adjourned the House till Friday.
Adjourn for tomorrow.
The productivity of the Lok Sabha in the first half of the budget session in terms of utilization of time stood at 134%, while for the Rajya Sabha, the figure stood at 96%. But disruptions continued on a 9th day in a row in the second half of the budget session. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has already expressed grave concern over frequent disruptions, despite repeated assurances that discussion would be allowed on all issues under appropriate rules. Reporting from Parliament with camera person Yogesh, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, after the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha were stalled on Thursday, MOS Parliamentary Affairs Vijay Goyal slammed the members for derailing legislative business. He also urged opposition members in the Rajya Sabha to participate in the discussion on Union Budget 2018-19. Let's listen in to what the minister had to say.
Ninth day of repeated disruptions and adjournments. What is the way ahead?
एक सप्ताह से ज़्यादा हो गया है और मैं समझता हूँ सरकार के लिए भी चिंता की बात है और हम सब सांसदों को भी ये सोचने की बात है, चाहे वो किसी भी पार्टी से हों, और सरकार चाहती है कि हर विषय पे चर्चा होनी चाहिए। अब ये चर्चाएं बाहर मीडिया में हों, टीवीज़ के अंदर हों, चैनल्स के ऊपर हों, पर संसद के अंदर ना हो तो अच्छा नहीं लगता है।
But the opposition parties, specifically the Congress and the TMC, are pressing for the discussion under rules that entail voting specifically.
आप ये उनसे पूछिए, जब लोकसभा के अंदर वो 193 के अंदर तैयार हैं और ये जो प्रोरोगेटिव है ये चेयरमैन का है कि किस रूल के अंडर कौन सी डिस्कशन होगी, तो फिर वो डिसाइड करेंगे या चेयरमैन डिसाइड करेगा, पहले कर लें। तो जनता को भी ये बात समझ आनी चाहिए भी चेयरमैन ने जब एक रूलिंग दी है कि अंडर सो एंड सो रूल इस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए, चाहे वो 176 हो या कोई और दूसरा हो, तो फिर ये बात अपोजिशन को समझनी चाहिए। जिस समय हम लोग अपोजिशन में थे उस समय भी तो चेयरमैन ही डिसाइड करता था, कोई सारी बातें हमारी थोड़ी मान ली जाती थी। तो इसलिए जाहिर तौर पर यही सबसे बड़ा बहाना है उनके लिए चर्चा को ना करना।
Thank you so much for talking to Rajya Sabha Television. Reporting from Parliament with camera person Manoj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Moving on now, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addressed the annual conclave of Confederation of Real Estate Developers Associations of India on Thursday. He spoke about the prospective growth in the real estate sector, but also expressed displeasure at the repeated adjournments in the House due to opposition protests.
Disruptions in Parliament weighed heavy on the Vice President's mind as he addressed the annual conclave of Confederation of Real Estate Developers Association of India. He said that as chairman of Rajya Sabha, he has agreed for a debate on the PNB fraud in the House, but the discussion has not been able to take place due to disruptions.
There is no meaning in finding fault. उनका जमाना में हुआ, हमारा जमाना में नहीं हुआ। वो कहेंगे आपका जमाना में हुआ, आपका परसेंटेज इतना है, हमारा परसेंटेज इतना है। इसमें कोई फायदा है नहीं। I hope that the Parliament functions and then there is a meaningful, constructive debate. Why does the fault rise? The issue is not this regime or that regime. The issue is of people losing confidence in the system.
Turning his focus to the real estate sector, the Vice President underscored the role of private sector real estate developers in the housing schemes being run by the government. He said there is a need to provide affordable housing to the middle class and the government is promoting low-cost housing projects.
Rapid urbanization coupled with the migration from rural areas has led to a massive housing shortage. It is estimated that currently there is a shortage of 19 million housing units in India, with 96% of those affected by the paucity of belonging to economically weaker sections.
The Vice President said that the realty sector is showing signs of revival, which is good for the economy. He also said that bringing transparency in the real estate sector will lead to further growth. Mohammad Fateh Tipu's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu met with Nagaland Chief Minister Naifue Rio in the national capital. In the meeting, Vice President Naidu congratulated the newly elected Chief Minister of Nagaland and discussed the situation in the state. 11 cabinet ministers of Nagaland were also present in the meeting. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to the grand finale. The 12 bright kids that you see here today have bested 13.5 lakh of their peers. At what distance from the polling station can the polling political candidate set up their booth?
2 kilometers.
That is not the right answer. I'm so sorry. She answered 2 kilometers.
200.
Please discuss before you answer. We will now move to an innovative round in this grand finale. Let's have one more guess from you and let's see what happens.
Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu would have given you a wrong answer and your score would have gone down to 0. But you managed to bank your points at the right time. Remember, one more right answer can get you 35 points and all correct.
R.K. Trivedi
is the right answer. Congratulations. Very, very well done. Winning this grand finale of the National Elections Quiz 2018 is the team from...
Watch National Elections Quiz 2018, presented by Election Commission of India, Saturday at 5 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, 31 suspected economic offenders have fled the country to avoid prosecution, the government has told the Lok Sabha. In a written reply, Minister of State for External Affairs M.J. Akbar gave a list of 31 persons that includes Nirav Modi and his uncle Mehul Choksi, both of them accused in the Punjab National Bank scam. Others in the list include Nirav Modi's wife, Ami Nirav Modi, and son Nishal Modi, liquor baron Vijay Mallya, cricket czar Lalit Modi, and arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari. The reply doesn't mention the time since when they have been absconding from the country. The minister also informed the House the government's efforts to bring these fugitives to justice. Well, India has raised the issue of harassment of Indian diplomats with Pakistan. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that India has lodged the complaint through diplomatic channels and Pakistani authorities must ensure the security of Indian diplomats as per the provisions of the Vienna Convention of 1961. He said India has complained about the harassment of Indian High Commission staff in Pakistan in the past as well. The MEA spokesperson also rejected reports of recall of Pakistani High Commissioner Sohail Ahmed by Pakistan, calling it a routine affair. He said India is looking into the allegations made by Pakistan about their High Commission staff being threatened in India.
You know that our High Commission in Islamabad is facing a litany of issues which have not been resolved for several months. We raise these issues in good faith through diplomatic channels and not through the media. We have asked for immediate resolution of these issues faced by our High Commission in Islamabad so that the safety and security of the diplomatic mission and our diplomatic and consular officials is assured.
Well, Union Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs spoke to Rajya Sabha television about government's efforts to improve the quality of life in urban areas. Stressing on the need for improving sanitation in cities, he said that Swachh Bharat mission will make a difference. Hardeep Puri was responding to questions over a report ranking Pune as the #1 city in terms of a set of parameters. Union Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs Hardeep Puri has asserted that focused efforts are being made to improve the quality of life and infrastructure in urban areas. Acknowledging the inadequacy of infrastructure, he told Rajya Sabha TV that various efforts by different organizations to rank the cities would help in improving the conditions in urban areas.
Anyone who's lived in an Indian city, especially the large urban spaces, knows that our cities are almost unlivable. There are encroachments, there are transgressions, there are violations of the law, there is lack of swachhta, but all that is changing. But why is the situation the way it is? For the simple reason that for 67 years of our existence, there has been total neglect of the urban space. It is only after the Modi government came into power in May 2014 that the government has launched very ambitious and comprehensive urban rejuvenation and urban planning schemes through a system of subventions, which is the largest exercise ever undertaken in the democratic world.
Minister Puri referred to the need for improving sanitation in urban areas with particular emphasis on solid waste management. He asserted that the ongoing Swachh Bharat mission will make a difference.
The 3 flagship programs of the Prime Minister, Swachh Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and the Smart Cities program and the ongoing Amrut. So a lot of efforts are underway, and I think Pune has shown the way. Incidentally, my ministry is conducting the 4th Swachhta Sarvekshan, and we are grading all Indian cities in terms of, the garbage collection, etc. Now,
Minister Puri spoke to Rajya Sabha TV further to the release of a report ranking Pune as the #1 city in terms of a set of parameters. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. Well, more good news for the Indian economy after the World Bank credit rating agency Fitch has also projected India's growth to rise to 7.3% in 2018-19. The growth would be propelled by increased investment in infrastructure and waning of the disruptions caused by GST rollout. Meanwhile, Indian exports also showed 4.5% growth in the month of February. Here's more.
After the World Bank projected a surge in India's economic growth, credit rating agency Fitch, in its Global Economic Outlook report, forecast Indian economy to clock a growth rate of 7.3% in the next fiscal and 7.5% in 2019-20. Fitch also said that the budget for 2018-19 will support the near-term growth outlook. It contains measures such as a minimum price support and free health insurance that will benefit low-income and support rural demand, it said.
Growth rate would be even higher than what these agencies are predicting. And this budget will give a kickstart to our economy, the way money is being pumped into the infrastructure sector, the way money will now go into the agri sector. That will generate demand.
Meanwhile, India's trade deficit narrowed to $12 billion in February, its lowest in 5 months. It stood at $16.30 billion the previous month. Experts say the projections by leading global multilateral agencies on economic growth are reflective of India's strong macroeconomic fundamentals.
Indian economy grew at 7.2% in the December quarter of the current fiscal, surpassing China's 6.8% pace in that period, regaining the tag of world's fastest growing major economy. Developments like implementation of GST, recapitalization package for the public sector banks, and export uplift will further boost the growth momentum. Reporting from Delhi, with camera person Dilip Maite, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, moving on to other news now, Delhi government ordered an investigation into complaints of Class 12 CBSE accountancy paper being leaked. In a Twitter message, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said that officers of the Directorate of Education have been asked to investigate and lodge a complaint with the CBSE. DOE officials said that the question paper being circulated on WhatsApp matches the original paper, but the leak has not been ascertained yet. CBSE meanwhile issued a statement denying any leak and said it has approached the police against those spreading false news. The CBSE said that all seals were found intact at all exam centres. Well, the Supreme Court extended till March 26th interim protection from arrest granted to Karti Chidambaram by the Delhi High Court in the INX Media money laundering case. The High Court has given Karti relief from arrest till March 22nd. An Apex Court bench also transferred to itself cases pending before the Delhi High Court relating to the Enforcement Directorate's power to arrest suspects under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The order noted that several high courts in the country have given conflicting views on interpretation of Section 19 of the PMLA and that it would deal with the issue of interpretation of the section. Meanwhile, in the Punjab National Bank fraud case, the CBI has registered a fresh case related to the issue of letters of undertaking involving payments of 9 crore rupees by former Deputy Manager Gokulnath Shetty. Shetty and a single window operator of the bank's Manoj Karat are already facing CBI probe in the Nirav Modi Mehul Choksi bank fraud case. On Wednesday, the Enforcement Directorate moved Interpol for a red corner notice against Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi in a money laundering case. A special court in Mumbai had issued non-bailable warrants early this month on the request of the Enforcement Directorate. Well, that's it on this newscast. Good night.